Hi, Scott Orin with CINEMA-Magazin. You know, a lot of times there's envy where you see an actor get to do a cool skill set. You go, I want to do that. This is not the case. This is an actor, Jack O'Connell, for the new movie Unbroken, who had to do things that I think really took you probably to your limits of what you had to do. Can you talk a little about, because you think, wow, I'm getting to do this cool Angelina Jolie movie, but Louis had a lot of stuff, obstacles he had to overcome.
Yeah, true. And look, I was very fortunate enough to be dealt the role in the first place. And nobody lied to me. I knew it was going to be the biggest challenge of my life yet. But as a 23-year-old, you don't, to shy away from those sort of challenges is perhaps a greater worry. I felt like I'd put enough preparation work in myself in terms of the career path I've had and where I was as an individual, where my headspace was at by that point. I felt like I could understand Louis. I thought like I could understand what it is to muster that version of strength. I don't think I'm capable of it, but at least understanding it was a head start. So like I say, as a 23-year-old, I'm relishing them sort of challenges. I'm 24 now. I'm looking forward to the next one. I can't wait for the next load of pain.
I didn't realize we were close to the same age. But anyway, just go with it. Just go with it. But you started out in this movie in probably the most difficult physical shape you had to get in, because they started with the raft sequence where you had to lose all the weight first, correct?
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
Well, I had time on my side because I was awarded, shall we say, the role with like 2 months to prepare prior to the first day on set. So I could take my time. It's a very risky process doing that if you're in a rush. So we had a team of professionals analysing us personally, figuring out our needs and how we differed from each other. And then we had this tailored diet, which was tailored to the individual. So as long as we stuck to it, we knew we'd get the results. I'm making it sound easy. There's a lot of time spent on a treadmill when you're not necessarily fully fed and feeling lethargic and weak. And when you see your stamina decrease, that can be soul destroying. But again, I had Louis' example constantly overhanging mine and dwarfing whatever I was experiencing in terms of hardship anyway. So with all of that said, I had motivation within that, and sort of never really had the audacity to complain as a result.
Let me ask you, there is a slight German connection to this, and that is Louis was in the 1936 Olympics, which were in Berlin. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering, was there actual footage that you got to see of him at that time?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough footage of the period. It's black and white and not so many frames a second. So there's only really him crossing the finish line, and then you have the photography. But it's available. It gave me an insight into his run. Did you know Louis' running stride was actually an abnormality? Yeah, his hips would dislocate with each stride, which allowed him a more elongated stride, which would have shaved seconds off his time, right? So. But yeah, this Olympic fast finish world record that he broken, that attracted Adolf Hitler's attention, who then insisted on meeting him immediately after the race to shake hands, and he called him the boy with the fast finish, as it were, which is almost a pun.
I was about to say, that's a cool little nickname to have, but well, it depends on what context it's being used. It may not be a good nickname. But we're not going to go there, are we? But the last question for you is, you had unique opportunity, and very few actors have, of working with Angelina Jolie as a director. Mm-hmm. Is she maternal? Is she hard driving? Is she patient? Just a couple of words. How would you describe her style as a director?
Yeah, I mean that's a fair description, the one that you offered there, and like I can second that. Very driven, brutal where she needed to be with the schedule and perhaps with perhaps the studio too, in order to fight for her vision. But I never sensed any of that from her. She was very supportive consistently with me. I felt like I had her backing very early, Scott, which meant that I could then go to Australia, and I felt like I could believe in myself as a result of that. So very, very giving in that sense, and I had a level of empathy. I felt like she was in tune with wherever I was at throughout the majority of that shoot. And I feel like, having personally invested myself in this project now, I feel like there's a friendship out of that too.
Well, good. We're all going to have a barbecue at Angelina's house. This is so awesome. Thank you for inviting me.
No
Jack,
problem.
can I appreciate it again? Thank you so much. Great performance. And this is Scott Orland. Till next